Cena's Corner, world's #1 rhythm game reviewer.
Alright, how's everybody doing? Okay, I hope everybody had a very happy and safe 4th of July. It is very early in the morning. I think it's right around 4:30 a.m. on the 5th. So here I am early morning working again, but we got some things to talk about. So what this video is about Rock Band 3 drums, and I'm going to finally break to you exactly what's going to go on with charting of the drums and how I feel about that. Now, in my Rock Band 3 E3 videos, there are some things that got misconstrued and was posted on the Rock Band boards, and I had to make this long post. So I want to clarify real quick what I said in case everybody was missing what I was saying. I did make the statement that if you use the jack on the back of the drums, the Rock Band 2 drums, the black port, that it would enable double bass mode. I also stated that if the game was charted this direction, that you would get real bass notes, so you would get double bass notes that will come down only if that pedal was charted. Now, it's been written on my forums that David Sheck said true bass ain't gonna be charted. It was also written somewhere that supposedly he also said that the port in the back of the drums was not for double bass, but it was for a hi-hat. Well, let me clear that up. I never said anything about the charting of the game because I don't know. So I never told you double bass was going to be charted. My statement was, if it is charted that way, by enabling this, having a pedal in this port would enable that. Never said it was charted, never said it was going to be charted. However, I'm going to tell you, with all due respect to David Sheck and anybody else, that they're dead wrong when it comes to what the port is for. I beta tested the Rock Band 2 drum kit. I talked to Harmonix. I talked to Harmonix Henry. I've talked to Harmonix Drop Slash. Don't forget, I was at E3 for 3 days. I played Rock Band 3 for more than 3-4 times while I was there. The port in the back of your Rock Band 2 drums, no matter what anybody tells you, is to enable a double bass pedal. This is true. Also, though, let me give you a couple of things that I may have left out in the other one, and I forgot about in the reprise. If you want that pedal to be a hi-hat pedal, you can do this. It is in the software of the game. Remember in my Rock Band 3 E3 video I talked about, I said there's a couple of ports, or not ports, I'm sorry, a couple of, you have 4 boxes below that represent your individual options. If you are the drummer and you click open that options, there is an option if you want to have a hi-hat pedal, and then that second pedal will become a hi-hat pedal instead of a bass drum pedal. Now, many people saying, well, that's what he said. No, it was stated from what I've read and what I've seen that it was solely supposed to be a hi-hat pedal. No, it could be either or, okay? But you have to flip that switch on if you want that pedal to be a hi-hat pedal. This does mean that if you are using a Rock Band 2 drum kit and you have things like the hi-hat box that came from Rock Band Kickbox, which is the people who's actually made the J5, that you're not going to need that if you have the Rock Band 2 drum kit because it's already going to be there for you. The other thing that I did not mention was this. Everybody asked, did the ions work? Yes, the ions work, but there was a small problem with the ion set that was hooked up at Rock Band 3. See, you need 3 cymbals to play pro mode, right? Well, the ion drum rocker that they had set up at Rock Band 3 at E3 only had 2 cymbals. So, of course, I'm curious because everybody who went up there was playing pro mode. And so Bear thought, you know, he's like, no, that's not pro mode, that's not pro mode, because I think that the cymbals are going to be charted in regular mode as well as pro mode. But see, that made no sense to me either because I was paying a direct attention in the Rock Band 3 presentation, and I noticed that nobody in the song that was played, if you don't believe me, go back and watch my video. In the song that was played, there was no one playing on pro mode, and there was no cymbals that was charted. So I went and I asked, I think it was Harmonix Henry, I said, there's only 2 cymbals on this kit, how does this work? And he says, there is a switch in the game that will allow you to tell it how many cymbals you got. I got to witness this firsthand because when I got back up there, I went to the options menu, and it is true. There in the game, it has all the symbols listed. So you have your yellow, your green, and your blue symbol. You can tell the game if you don't have a symbol. So if you only have the yellow and the green, you can turn off the blue. So what will happen is the blue then will be charted to your pad. Now don't go getting crazy and saying we can go play pro mode and turn all the symbols off for two reasons. One, then you're not really truly playing pro mode. You might as well just not waste your time and just play regular mode. Two, I'm sure that Harmonix is going to have some kind of a switch in the game that is not going to allow you to turn off all the symbols. You're going to at least have to have at least one, I'm sure, to be able to enable pro mode. If not, I think it would be just a waste of time, because the fact that means everybody can just go play pro mode, turn all the symbols off so I don't want to use them, and you get the exact same result that we have in Rock Band 2. Alright, so we cleared that up. So now let's get to the heart-wrenching thing that this video is mostly about. Okay? Charting of double bass in Rock Band 3 and if it is going to happen. Now, I haven't read, somebody said they read an official statement by Harmonix. I haven't seen this statement, and believe me, I've looked for it. I've searched for it. I went to all of the most popular people that I know to look for this article that somebody in the Rock Band forum said that they read, and I haven't seen it. I'm not saying it don't exist. I'm just saying for whatever reason I can't find it. And in this article, supposedly was Harmonix, most likely Dan Teasdale, was saying that they were not going to chart double bass in the game. Well, let me tell you that's true. Not from this article, but I didn't know this, but ToyMachine actually did an interview with Dan Teasdale. Now, out of all the interviews that Dan Teasdale had, he had one from me, he had one from Rock Band-Aid, he had one from ToyMachine. Let me give kudos to ToyMachine right now, because he was the only one that had the wherewithal to remember that he needed to ask what was going to happen with double bass charting. There were so many questions that I had, and there were so many questions that Rock Band-Aid, whose real name is Tommy, had, and there was I had sent a tweet out that said, if you guys want anything answered, let me know. I'm going to be talking to Dan Teasdale, and I had all of those. On his video, if you go to his channel, ToyMachine SH, which I will link that down here, he asked Dan Teasdale specifically, were there going to be double bass notes charted in Rock Band 3? I'm sad to tell you there's not. Dan Teasdale said no, they're going to keep the charts pretty much like they are. But he was hard to hear, but from what I was picking up is they really wanted the drums not to be an overkill. They wanted somebody who that can just feel like they can sit down and just pick up the drums and not have to worry about double bass. So basically what I'm telling you is, if you were looking for some crazy Dream Theater double bass, it ain't going to happen. The double bass charts the way that they are now is going to be the way that they are in Rock Band 3. Now give me 1 second, because I want to back up a little bit and talk about what this means for us Ion owners, and then I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about the double bass not being charted, and some of you may or may not agree with me on that. But since Dan Teasdale made this announcement in this review, in this interview, go back to where I said that I thought that they would have to do something special, like put a switch in Rock Band 3 so that we can override the double bass, because of the way that I was taking it, and from what I have saw, is that by plugging in that second pedal to your Rock Band 2 kit was going to enable double bass mode. Well, what we call Expert Plus. So that Expert Plus mode was wrapped into Pro mode, and that was going to enable that. Since he said they're not going to be recharted, Ion Rocker people don't have a worry, because they're charting the bass drum charts just for the right foot like they are in Rock Band 2. Therefore, that means that if it's only charted for the right foot, you can use a KB65 or you can use a rolling KD8 with a double bass pedal, and it's going to react the same way Rock Band 2 does right now. All that it's going to pick up and care about is that you hit that line on that beat. So you can be doing like this as long as that's what the chart is doing, and it's going to register that no matter how fast you're throwing it at that. So, Ion Drum Rocker users, we don't have to worry about that, because we're going to be able to have double bass. Now, if you're wondering how you're going to be able to get the hi-hat pedal, if you want that, the same way we get it now. And I guess I don't have a review of that, but I'm going to have one soon, because there's going to be some segments coming out of the things you can get for Rock Band 3 later on. But there is a hi-hat box out there that is made, again, by the makers of the J5, and it works very well. So basically all you're doing is you're jacketing your yellow and your blue pad into the hi-hat box, and you're running a cord out of that back into your yellow and your blue. And what that does essentially is, and then you plug a pedal in, and what that does is creates a hi-hat.